Hello, Maddox. It is Daria from meshbuddyaddict.com, and today we're taking a look at Logo's first bento mesh head release, Quinn. Now, Quinn, you can see on me now as my head refuses to look at the center of the screen, so I will put it into pose mode. There we go. Total natural look there. Quinn has just been released in store and is looking very surprised. Do I have pose on her? I possibly do. And look, there have been some incredible features that are included with this release. So what I thought I'd do is just go through them with you, as well as give you a little bit of a tutorial on how Quinn works and the new features. So Quinn comes with, if we delve into the abomination that is my inventory, Quinn has been in closed beta for a while, which means that she has been sent out to a group of people who have been testing, including myself, and giving feedback. And the result of that has become the 1.0 release, which you can see here. So Quinn comes with a lot of things, and those of you that have used Logo before, you're used to seeing these giant folders full of things. It is much smaller than it used to be. You used to get about 5 folders, one for each different color, skin color that is, and one for Omega. And a lot of that has changed, which is really exciting. So now you just get this one, but it is still big compared to some of the other mesh heads. So let's quickly go through it. You can see here that I've been tweaking the shape a little bit. That's mostly just the body that I've tweaked. I've left the head pretty static. You have some system layer skins. You have extra base skins. So those of you that don't use a mesh body, there are some other tones in there for you, including muscled stomach, that sort of thing. But to get started, what we'll do is we'll put on the animation HUD, which is this HUD. We'll put on the customization HUD, which is the main logo HUD that you see here. Eyebrows, of course, the eyelashes, which are a separate attachment, which is a really handy feature. The eyes, which you can see there looking quite surprised. The hair base, which is a separate layer it's still invisible, but it's a separate layer that just automatically goes on top of your head. And of course the head. And the teeth, unless you are the type of person that doesn't want to rock teeth. Yay! And for those of you that have just opened the pack, you'll see shape here. Just wear that shape and you're ready to go. So let's take a little bit of a look at what's included. The HUD itself is still similar in appearance to what you'd be used to if you've used Logo before. If you haven't, we'll take a quick look through it. So the black strip, this is for skin. So I can actually change the built-in skin tone using these arrows. So if I go up one, it's automatically putting on, I think that's amber, and so forth. So then it will go to the next one. I think that's alabaster. I think that's almond. I don't know. And bloom, which is what I'm wearing right now. So these are the built-in skins, but the head is Omega compatible, which is really awesome. So you can use different skins with it. And unlike previous releases from Logo, you don't have to wear a different version of the mesh head to use Omega. Yay! So if you already have it, or if you've just bought it, let's just do a search. If you were smart, you would put it into this folder, which I created just to put my installers in. I am not smart. So I'm going to put it in there now. Get in there. Okay. So you can use the old installer, or if you've just bought one, just buy one. Press it while you're wearing everything, obviously. And what will happen is that will install. And you'll see down here, it'll say Omega system is being installed. I'm in Do Not Disturb mode at the moment, so it's not showing me anything. But I'm sure if I go here, it'll tell me Omega is done. Yay! So now it's Omega compatible. So we can use Omega skins with it, which means I can take that off of my head. And we can go back to what we were doing. Why am I blobbing up and down? I've undoubtedly done something. Anyway, off of what's going on with me and back onto this. So that's the getting set up, I suppose, for Omega, etc. So let's assume that you're using a logo skin to start with, okay? Because that's going to be the easiest way to start this. We have the tinting section for skins, head alpha for hiding parts of the head, clearing Omega makeup if applied. We have the body fat selections so that we can make the neck wider. Oops. It's pro at work, people, pro at work. So we can put the neck, make that bigger if you've got a higher body fat, or even sometimes when you've got a bit of belly fat going. I'll put that back to 0. You can change the style of the ears, or you can hide them all together, which is awesome, especially for those of you that wear different ears. And that's the rundown of that section. Now, expressions. For Quinn, you have a different expressions HUD. I'm not sure why they've kept this strip here. Maybe because those of us that have used Logo before are used to having the expressions ability in this tab. But they're now in a different HUD, which we'll go into in a second. And we also have all of these options that we can use. So everything from lipstick to different eye makeups, and I've always been a huge fan of Logo makeups. I've always loved their makeups, and there's good news for Omega users with that too, which I'll go into in a minute. Cheekbones. And you can see just by looking at this how much difference texture itself makes. Not just the shape of the head, but also the skin and the texture that you're using with it. And different noses. So you'll really see it here. Watch the nose as I click through these. Nothing is changing on the mesh. The mesh is remaining the same. It's simply the texture that's changing. And look how much difference that's making. You can, make her have more of a giant triangle in the middle of her face to having more of a petite nose look. And I've always thought that's incredible. Anyway, on to what we were talking about before. We have eyes, so a range of different eye colours. I'm a much bigger fan of these eyes than I was their previous, but they still look a little bit startled to me, I think because they're so wide. And we have these arrows next to things, by the way, because over time you can buy add-on packs and they'll just install into here and you can use the arrows. We have eyebrows if you're using built-in eyebrows rather than those that are on a skin. You have, of course, lash options, which are fantastic. I love the lashes. I wish there was a bit more maybe bottom lash action going on, but I do really love the lashes that it comes with. And our hair base as well, which we can select from here. Again, there'll probably be add-ons later, and you can use Omega as well. So that's a rundown of what all of these do. Now I'm just going to painstakingly close them all. So over to the expressions or the animations HUD, however you want to view it. We still have a range of expressions that come with the pack, much like we used to with the old heads, if you're used to that. So we have the different expressions. I should probably take the animations off to start with, and turn my AO off as well. So for photos, we can use these. I've always loved their animations, their expressions. They're just always so funny. And the good part about logos as well is that you can choose just to use the upper part of the pose or the lower part. By that, it's eyes and mouth. So I can make just the eyes look super surprised and make the mouth look really sleepy. And that part of it is really, really good. I really like that. Whoops. I've just gone and completely screwed her face up now. My bad. Oh, stop that. There we go. So they're a lot of fun to play with, really, these poses. And those that have used it, used Logo before, like I said, you're used to playing with these. They're quite fun. And you're used to playing around with different options and being able to mix and match with them as well. So that's a lot of fun. What is really unique about this release, if I move my post stand out of the way, is that it also now has head motions, which is super fun. So we could put start animation on this one. We have a slow nod, a slow shake, like no, a fast nod, fast shake, surprised, tilt, shy. Oh, that's a sad shy. Drop, which will drop the head, and back to put the head back. And you can mix these head motions with these animations as well. So I can put surprised, and then I can go surprised, and then I can start that, and she'll go, what? I get way too much enjoyment out of this, you can tell. The same way with this, I don't even know what you would call this. It looks somewhere between sleepy and kind of dogged out. But you can mix that with, let's say, tilt, and then she'll go, where? I've been having so much fun playing with these. It is really crazy. But yeah, so mixing and matching them is just really fun. You can turn the eye movement off as well. And the eye positions on this thing, I'm freaking in love. If every designer could have an eye positioning system like this, that includes not just the super far look to the right, but in between, I would be such a happy camper. So that's what we're looking at when we're talking about the animations HUD, and you can minimize this with the little button there if you want to wear it around with you. One thing I do always remind people with the logo HUDs is that they are full size. So especially with this one, even though it's minimized, see how it's taking up a portion of my screen that you can't see? If you have, say, a Maitreya HUD or something behind it, if you try and click it, it won't work because this HUD will be over the top of it blocking it. So just be aware of that. Even if it's minimized, it might still be there. Okay. So now onto the Omega side, because I've been prattling on for 12 minutes already. Oh my God. So for Omega, if you want to use an Omega skin, and I just found one of my lolly appliers from Glam Affair, and previous logo appliers will work as well, by the way. But some Glam Affair appliers for logo, if you can get your hands on them, are actually through the Omega system. So that's just a sneaky little tidbit. So let's put this on. Obviously, the shape isn't set up for this particular skin, so she might look a little bit weird, but that's okay. So we've put her in Glam Affair. Now let's get onto the makeup. Now, remember how I mentioned if you put on a lipstick, for example, with a different Omega applier, you're going to get the skin. See how it's covering? See how it's actually applied to the skin around the mouth as well? It applies the whole layer, which historically has meant, obviously, that you haven't been able to use these, the makeup with Omega skins. So let me just get this stuff off of her. Whee. Put her skin back to how it should be. Well, they've now included Omega appliers. Yay! So, eyeshadow, for example, appliers HUD Omega Wear Me. This means that that these makeups that I loved, I can now use with my Omega head. If I'm not a stupid person and not wearing my makeup layer. I'm not wearing my makeup layer. Make sure you're wearing your makeup layer. Tips from Daria. Again, the makeup layer is an invisible layer that's sitting on top of the head that you don't really know it's there, so that's fine. And I'm pretty sure I installed it, but it's not working, so let's assume that I didn't. Make sure, if it's not working, that you have installed Omega into the makeup layer as well. Make sure you're wearing everything for the head before you go ahead and install it, like me. Learn from me, people. don't be like me. Don't be like Daria. So I'm going to install that again. Click on that. Says it's done. Thank you. Go away. And now I can start using it. And this means that that makeup that I love, I can now start using. Yay! I'm seriously so happy about that because I've always loved their makeup so much. I think because they do that blur so well, that fade look so well. I just love it. So anyway, now just because you're using an Omega Skin doesn't mean you're missing out on the awesome makeup that comes with the Quinn head. So hurrah for that. Now back into the depths of my messy inventory. The same goes for the lipsticks. So there's a HUD for Omega that we can use, and we can click. Now some things obviously, like the nose that I was talking about earlier, that was based entirely on skin shading. So obviously you're not going to be able to use that, but at least you can use the awesome eye makeup and lipsticks that come with the head. So that is the logo Quinn Bento mesh head. There's really a lot of work that they've done into it, and though the shaping of it is not really something I feel like is me, so I probably won't be a huge user of it. I think people will really love this head. The only critiques I would give is it's very difficult to try and make the nose smaller because of the way the weighting is done around the nose. Even if you make the nose super small, it's still super broad up here and still very prominent. And she does tend to get that stuck up nose look. Also, I love big eyes, so I think the eyes are great. But if you like a smaller eye, it is quite hard to do because of how broad it is. The lips I actually really like because she doesn't look like she's hating on the world. She doesn't have resting bitch face, which is good. But it is still a little bit fiddly to try and shift her lips down. And if you see on the wide and narrow, this is as narrow as I can get the lips, and that's still quite wide. And that's just a feature of bento mesh heads. How they're weighted is all part of it. But that's just a feature that I'm not particularly a fan of. The other one is possibly the outer eye corner. So if you're wanting to lift the outer eye corner a little bit, it moves the whole brow all the way up, which can be a little bit clunky. And with the inner corner, it can get a little bit off if you're moving that up and down. But those things aside, and I suppose aside from the fact that I found it a little bit difficult to try and get my own individual look out of it, that aside, it is really a great bento mesh head, and I encourage you to play around with it, especially if you're a fan of Logo and you like their big features style, which I always traditionally have. So that's an extremely long rundown of the Quinn Bento mesh head from Logo. Go and check it out, and of course, if you have any questions or let us know your thoughts, then drop them below. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.